Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm from the Green Investment Bank. Many of you would know that the UK is signed up to the 2020 targets to reduce carbon emissions. Those obligations mean that we need to reduce our carbon footprint by about 34% over the next 6 years. And we also need to increase the percentage of renewable energy generation in the country to 15%. We were at about 3% in 2010, so there's quite a long way to go. What does this mean in terms of investment? Different consultants and analysts have come up with various numbers. Our estimate is that the UK needs to invest about £330 billion over the next few years to reach these targets. Simply put, from 2010 to 2020, that it works out to $33 billion a year. At present, we're only investing on average about $13 billion a year. So that means we need to increase our run rate of investment in sustainability and a move towards a green economy, and more than double our rate of investment. To achieve these goals, the UK government about 2 years ago set up the UK Green Investment Bank. We 100% owned by the UK government. We have £3.8 billion of capital from the UK government. It's quite a small amount of capital compared to the $33 billion on an annual basis that needs to be invested. So we're here to help mobilize private sector capital so that together with the private sector, we can invest in a large number of projects. Although we government-owned, we are independent. We have an independent board chaired by Lord Smith. He's also the chairman of Scottish and Southern. So we do have very good leadership from the energy industry. Over the last 2 years, we've built up a team of over 100 staff, 70 of which are investment and sustainability professionals. What are our objectives? We want to invest in projects that are green and projects that are profitable. Because unless these projects are profitable, we know that the private sector is not going to join us and not going to invest alongside us. In the 2 years that we've been around, for every pound we've invested, on average, we've mobilized £3 of private sector capital. We have three core sectors that we focus on: offshore wind, waste and bioenergy, and energy efficiency. I work in the waste and bioenergy team. So what have we done in the last 2 years? Over the last 2 years, we've invested £1.4 billion in 34 projects. Our private sector, together with our private sector partners, we've invested £4.9 billion in total. We've invested across the UK, and we've invested in a range of projects, from very small projects with a capex of about £2 million up to projects that are north of £1 billion. In the sectors that are most relevant to the food and beverage sector, I think we've invested in 5 anaerobic digestion waste projects, many of which are associated with waste flows from your sector. Who do we invest with? Some of the largest energy companies in Europe, and also with some of the largest financial investors, globally speaking. I'd highlight Greencoat on the top row there. It was the first listed UK fund with what we call a diversified portfolio of renewable energy projects, including onshore and offshore wind assets. Following this listing, almost half a dozen other listings have taken place on the London Stock Exchange. So we're here to demonstrate that it is possible to raise capital in the private sector and other people tend to take a lead from us or follow us. We think we are making a difference. Our projects have generated over 3,500 jobs in the UK, and we work with both large cap and small cap companies. And we know these are long-term projects, and therefore we're very focused on managing the risks associated with all these projects and analyzing all our investments on a long-term basis. Given the nature of these projects, many of them have quite a long construction lead time. The first project that has successfully entered into operation is the TEG biogas facility in London. In that project, 20 million project, we invested £2 million. So we had a mobilization factor of 9-1. What have we done with the food and beverage industry? In August this year, we raised capital, or we invested in a biomass CHP project in Scotland. The heat off-taker is the Macallan Distillery in Speyside. Project is about 11 megawatt electric, 10 megawatt therm. Total investment of 74 million, and we partnered with John Lang Investments in this particular investment. For smaller projects, we tend to partner with, we have established some or signed up with some fund managers, and Equitix is one of our fund managers, and they've installed biomass boilers at the Tomatin Distillery in Scotland. Much smaller facility, total investment of just north of £1 million, and very significant CO2 savings. And with this one investment, the Tomatin Distillery was able to meet their targets set by the Scottish Distillery Association, which is a target for 2050. So small steps and not a very large investment, but it can go a long way towards improving your company's sustainability credentials. We've also invested in several other facilities in the sector. Biomass boilers with the Aberfeldy Distillery and Balmanak Distillery. And it's slightly different. We've also, through Equitix, tied up with Bernard Matthews to install biomass boilers on 40% of their estate. All these initiatives result in quite significant GHG savings, as well as energy cost savings of between 25 and 50%. What else have we done that may be relevant to this sector? It's the AD projects that we have invested in through our other fund managers, Foresight and Greensphere. I've already spoken about TEG Dagenham, and we've got 4 other facilities in Northern Ireland and mainland GB. We also monitor developments in the feedstock markets, because unless we understand the feedstock story for a lot of our waste and bioenergy projects, the projects simply may not be feasible. We issued a report in June 2013 on food waste and the anaerobic AD sector, and we're currently working on an update to the same. Unfortunately, I've been called to London for another meeting, so I won't be here for the panel, so I can take a few questions if you have any. Otherwise, my contact details are here. Please get in touch with me or any of my colleagues, and we'd be very happy to help you.